guys, this is John Kostelak with Northwestern Ohio Security Systems. Today I just want to go over the FLIR E95 advanced thermal camera that we are going to be using and hopefully providing to some of our customers to do elevated body temperature monitoring. I'm John Kostelak, like I said. I'm here with my coworker Cecilio Hernandez. He's taking the video for us. And the first thing I'd like to do today is just go over the setup that we have. So real simply, our goal was to try to have this as easy to set up for a customer as possible, where they could set it up for a pre-screening application in a safe distance to try to get employees' body temperatures. So what we're using here is a tripod that'll go up to 6 feet tall or high. We have the FLIR E95 handheld advanced thermal camera. We have the USB-C connector going to an HDMI cable, and then into just a real simple monitor to give you a better view of what's happening on the camera. You can also see on the camera, it's just mimicking the same screen that we have on the monitor. And the camera right now is just being powered by a battery, which is down here at the bottom. It just slides right out. And you can see we have the battery charger kit here, and the other battery is charging. That's what the flashing light means. And so when that battery is dead, we can pull this battery out and just swap it with that one. So we just kind of always rotate those batteries. So the first thing I think we want to do is just kind of walk you through, well actually the first thing we want to do is talk about the firmware. So if we go over here and look at the camera, one thing that when C and I were testing this, if you go into here, click the three buttons and then go into the settings tab and then go into device settings, we can check the firmware on the camera information tab. So if we scroll down, this gives us all the information on the camera, the model number, the model, the serial number, the part number. It'll also tell us the lens, which we have a 24-degree lens on here, the battery life remaining 91%. And then it tells us, we went right by the firmware version, which is right here, software 6.11.65. So C and I just upgraded that today. Before that, it was 5.8.56. So the reason we upgraded the firmware to 6.11.65 is because what we found on the camera is that running the older firmware version, we could not keep the camera to stay in screening mode. We always want to jump back over to single shot. And what I mean by that is when you're in the settings, you have recording mode, single shot, or you can go into the screening mode. And the screening mode is what we want to use for our application. So now that we're in screening mode, we'll turn the beep on here in a little bit after we calibrate the camera. So now we can see, we go back to the main camera page, and now you can see that we're in the screening mode. And we have the alarm threshold of 82.2, the average of 80.2, and the current reading of 71.6. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to move our box kind of up around the area of our interest. And then what we'll do is we'll resize this a little bit, and then we'll come down here and we'll set some of our parameters. So what I like to do is I like to see not only the hot spot, which you can see moving around up there, but I like to see the cold spot and the average. So now we have not only the minimum, the maximum, the minimum, and the average temperature reading. And they're shown in the screen here. And once again, that was just found by, and then what we can also do is if you want, what I like to do is set the temperature scale manually. So we can scroll, we can click on the top one and we can take this up to more kind of in our threshold of around like 97, 98 degrees. Oops, too high. So I'd say right about there, 98.5, we'll say that's good. And we'll take this down a little bit to show us some of the color ranges when we're in the scene. So we're about 65. So that's good. We'll lock that by hitting the button there. And then we'll come back. We'll check out some of the other measurement parameters. Our distance, as you can see, is 6 feet. We're maintaining a good social distance. C's a little closer right now. And then our atmospheric temperature, or temperature in the room, is a pretty steady 72 degrees. Our humidity, just average at 50. And then we have the reflected temperature of 68 and the emissivity of 0.95. So we set that at 0.95, it recommends 0.98 for human body temperature. We've played around with that number a little bit to try to get as close to accurate as possible. So that's why it's at 0.95. So after we go through that, we can go through thermal. I like the thermal MSX mode, which kind of gives us the best of the thermal and then gives us some of the detail, and it blends those two together. We also have a picture-in-picture mode on the camera, so we can have the thermal screen plus the digital camera in the background, or we can just go all digital camera. So we'll leave it at the thermal MSX mode. And then we have the color palettes. We have it on iron. You can have all these different color palette options. You have lava, all the way over here to Arctic, but we're just gonna leave it at iron for right now. And then we're gonna just get out of that. So now I'm gonna ask C to, well actually I'll go over there and C can press the P button to get some sample readings while we're in screening mode.
Going through and picking up the samples, and it'll display the temperature up top. So temperature updated.
All right, we're gonna take a couple more samples there.
Alrighty.
So the average, the alarm temperature, what's that set up now? So the more samples you take to, that average alarm temperature will keep increasing closer to your sample, to the average sample size.
Okay, so average right now is running 77, 78. Your body temperature is running 97. And then you can also see, I'm gonna switch to the camera here. It zooms in with the red cross, it zooms in where it's actually measuring the temperature. Here, I can go over there if you wanna.
Yeah, all right, let's let C go. And we'll take some samples of C here. We're just gonna push the P button to get the samples once he gets in place. So you can see he's at 96.1, 96.4. And every time you hit that P button, you can see the temperature updated. So what's that doing? That's adjusting this average temperature up here to 91.9. So we'll take a couple more. Temperature updated to 95.9. Maybe we'll take one or two more here to 95.9. So now our temperature is updated to 96.4. So that's probably a pretty good average right there, that 96.4. Now you can see our alarm is at 98.4. And keep in mind, this camera is probably about a degree less. What it's gonna be reading is about a degree to maybe a degree and a half less than what your actual body temperature is. So at 98.4, if you're reading that on this camera, you're probably closer to 99.4 to 100, and you should probably be pulled out to actually have a real screening done. So let me go back over there now and I'll read my temperature again, and then we'll do one final reading with the actual thermometer to see how close we are.
All right, it's updating. As you guys can see, is measuring his temperature around his eye, nose area. And he is currently at 97.2.3. That's staying pretty stable right there, so we'll go with 97.3.
Okay. Let's see what my temperature is. So my temperature is 98. So we're off by about 0.8, 0.7 degrees. All right, so why don't you give her a shot? And we have marked off a distance on the floor there. That's about 6 feet from the camera. So we can look here, and we got C's temperature at about 96.1. Let's just let him stand there for a minute. 96.1, 96.3. Pretty steady at around 96.3 and 1. So we'll just call it like 96.2. All right, C, why don't you come back over here and we'll get your temperature. So C's taking his temperature just with a traditional handheld.
97.2.
And C's at 97.2. So again, about a degree off. So that's about where we're gonna be with this camera. The accuracy is about 0.9 degrees plus or minus. So yeah, so that's what we just want to show you guys the E95 FLIR, Advanced FLIR handheld camera today. And if you'd like more information, please feel free to give us a call. My name is John Kostelak and Cecilio Hernandez. And like I said, you can find more information out about us at nwas.com, nwoss.com, or more information about the camera at FLIR.com, FLIR.com. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed the video.
no, oh no.